Yo guys, what's going on? Life of Rio here, and I want to talk to you guys about efficiency in Warframe, how basically I use my efficiency. And a lot of people always ask me why I don't go max efficiency. And for a lot of people that don't know max efficiency, the cap on efficiency, as you can see over there, I'm at base 100 for everything, but efficiency, the cap on it is 175. Now if you go over the cap, that really doesn't do anything for you. You're basically just wasting extra mod points. That's really all that you're doing. So efficiency, as you can see, it bumped up to 130 now. And what happens is that whenever you put on a streamline is now going to take it to 160. But what I see a lot of people do, which kind of throws me off a lot of times, is what I see a lot of people do is that they'll put on a max fleeting and a max intensify, and so they'll see the 175 because that's where it stops at, that's the cap, but you're actually at 190, to where you could have basically saved some of your mod capacity points, to where you probably wouldn't have needed to form one more time to completely fit everything else on there. Now with hitting 175, I don't think in any single one of my videos there has ever been a build or anything on my Warframe to where basically I'm at 175. I never use it. So basically what I do is that I'll be here, I'll be around the 160 mark, I'll be 15% off, because with generic in the game, you can definitely counter off a lot of different things. Or usually also I'm at the 130 mark. But if we're not going to tie in it, generic, if you're not using it, the efficiency of what I basically use is I'll go with a fleeting. And usually with my fleeting, I had another one, but I gave it to a friend. So what usually happens is that my fleeting usually is ranked 3 out of 4, and that will be 40%. And so what will happen is that it will take me to 170%. I never really care about getting the 175 because the extra 5% really doesn't mean much. It doesn't do much for you. Especially with casting abilities, you're not really going to notice it at all. So that's really a huge thing for me, is efficiency and understanding it. Now I'm using Ember because there's two types of efficiency in the game, especially for newer players or just people in general. There's been a lot of players that play the game that still doesn't get efficiency right. Now what happens is that when you look at a frame like this, you see efficiency ties in, and obviously it changes up your moves. As you guys can see, all the white numbers, I'm at 50, 75. My first ability costs 25, and then you can see it goes down to costing me 10. My second ability costs me 50, and as you can see, it costs me 20, right? Now with just that quick brief rundown, as you can see, if you look at her fourth ability, which is World on Fire, World on Fire has a different efficiency basically tied into it. Now what happened is that once I put on my efficiency, my energy per second, as you guys can see right there, went from a 3 to a 1.71. And now I'm going to show you when I add in, and I go ahead and add in, we're just going to do this for testing purposes, and I add in some duration, because duration now ties into efficiency as well for frames with toggle abilities. Now as you can see, I went from a 1.71 to a 0.79. So that means that you're really not going to be affected at all with the toggle ability. You're not really going to run out of energy really at all when you're using this frame, whenever you tie in efficiency plus duration. Now the thing is, with a frame like this, if you're trying to mod for efficiently, and this goes for all the frames with a toggle ability, so this is going to help you for all the frames. One thing you're going to have to notice is that all the frames basically, like her xcal, if you're trying to get her toggle ability, their drain ability, to a nice margin to where it doesn't really affect you too much, and also including Ash, you're going to need duration. But at the same time, having max duration, which is having on narrow-minded and stuff like that, really hurts your range. So what you're going to try to do is that you're going to understand how to cope with this mechanism of how to basically make a balanced build without losing all your range, because range is very, very important on xcal, Ember, and other frames like that. So what you're going to do is that if you have it now as a new player, if you don't have prime continuity, what you're going to be using is just regular continuity itself, which is right here. So regular continuity can still work. You're gonna cope that together with Constitution. So that's what you're gonna do here. You're gonna put Constitution in there, just for testing purposes. I'm at 120% duration now. So let's go ahead and take a look at it. Now what's going to happen is you can see it went down from a 3 to a 1. Now that's going to take 1 energy per second, right? I mean, while you're fighting and doing other casting abilities, I mean, Ember is pretty good on not really draining too much energy at a time. Her drain is actually very, very nice. So 1 energy per second, what that basically ties down to is your playstyle. If your playstyle can handle that, if you're good with playing like that to where that's not really, you know, something that's really going to affect you, then that's completely fine, and that's just how you use it. Now with this being said, now I'm going to put in Constitution. That puts me at 148, and that takes me down to 0.81. And if you remember, when I had in a rank 8 narrow-minded, that took me to a 0.79. So as you guys can see right now, this would be perfect. I would not need to use a narrow-minded because there's no reason for me to actually need it, and I actually get to keep my range at base. So that's one way to look at efficiency. It's super helpful to basically understand how efficiency basically ties into the game and how you use it. Now with a frame like Ember, with her 4th ability, you're not going to basically use generic unless you're gonna activate her 4th, then turn it off to basically get the perks from generic. But this is it. I just wanted you guys to understand efficiency and basically how it works. This was just a quick tutorial just to help you guys out real quick. And now doing this on Ember basically helps with the majority of the frames with toggles. This is how you would work every single frame with a toggle ability, and that's just how it goes. Some might need more duration and, you know, a little bit more than others, but this is the general concept, the general idea for you guys just to understand. Really do hope this helps. A lot of people kept asking me about efficiency, and I'm just here to help you guys out. Now, you guys have an amazing day. Thank you guys for the amazing support. Be sure to give the video a thumbs up if you thought it was helpful. If you're new to the game, jump in the comment section, let me know how long you've been playing, and if you haven't been, you know, knowing that much about efficiency. Also guys, the 175 cap, trust me, it's not needed. I've never in my life hit 175 and ever needed it. I've tried it a few times, but I've never ever needed 175. My main goal to where I stay is 170, because that 5% on some you know, on that efficiency isn't really going to affect you. But also at the same time, fleeting, really the scaling on some duration moves is really affected with fleeting, and so losing 5% on some frames to how high it scales and how low it scales is really effective. So that's just always been my thing. It's just my little niche, you guys know what I mean. So much love to you guys. Thank you guys for everything. Hope that you guys enjoyed the video, and I will catch you guys later on the next Warframe video.